Okay, I wanted to convey my concerns about my children to the judges and to everybody in New Orleans in general. I was a child born and had to grow up without his father. So I understand the issues of how long it took me to find myself. And that is something that I've always wanted to break the cycle for my own children. As far as New Orleans education system, the school board crashed before Katrina, and there's a prevailing level of ignorance in New Orleans that, like I said, they say zinc, they say furl, and that's speech impediments or that's an ignorance factor that is undeniable. So what I wanted to do for my own kids is having grown up and tested gifted and went to schools that earn the Excellence in Education Award. I understand the huge importance on an education. And I wanted to make sure that my children were educated in a system that was tried and proven, unlike New Orleans, especially with the charter schools and all the different issues they've had throughout, in New Orleans for some reason. A predominantly black city, and it's still kind of having so much oppression against black, its majority citizens. That's just, in a sense, it's contributing to the new Jim Crow laws. And I'm realizing that I'm going before female judges and they don't understand that the feminist movement was part of that new Jim Crow system in order to divide families, enable the bullies or enable the problems and create this division throughout family and the society period here in New Orleans, and it's a problem. And there's a lot of things that needs to be corrected, definitely. And I don't understand how, with the importance of understanding that fatherlessness is a problem throughout the nation, how it's not better protected. I looked up Nakisha Ervin-Knox and her slogan or whatever whenever she was running for judge, and how she said that she was going to be for equality for everybody, and appearing before her twice now, and she accepting unsubstantiated evidence without even an attempt to view the evidence that said that it's in the court. Just because I'm a father and I'm passionate about being in my lives children, my character is being defamed and I'm treated as a criminal, and it's not right. I haven't done anything that would make me unfit to be a father. I've explained to them that my kids were kidnapped against their will within my marriage. My daughter was born and she was taken from Shreveport, whereas, we up there, it's a whole different world. Family sticks together. Family has conflict resolution. Family has consideration for the other and a level of integrity, loyalty, or honor that holds them accountable to their decision. Whereas New Orleans is predicated on poor decision making throughout. So many, even the educated, and that's the issue that I'm having with the black folks there. Even the educated people are dumb. They're educated, yeah, but what I've realized is there's a lot of people that still lack common sense, common decency, common dignity. And, we got to raise the standards. We got to raise the bar, especially here in Louisiana, because we're behind the nation, 48, 49 in education. And that crap is just unacceptable. And we got to do better about each other before, black lives will truly matter to a nation that has always depressed the blacks. And here I'm seeing blacks oppress blacks. That's just deplorable, definitely, and it's a problem. Whereas we gotta start getting people out of New Orleans area and exposed to different societies and the different ways that other people do things in order to correct what's wrong there, which is so many. I look at the Bayou Classic that just recently passed and the shootings down on Bourbon Street. Black folks, they blow things out of proportion. They escalate situations. They jump to conclusions. They make rash decisions. And that is not acceptable, especially in the courts. Whereas I felt like both situations where I was under Judge Clare Jupiter and Judge Nakisha Ervin-Knott, my situation was rushed through. I was not afforded the proper amount of time to present my case, to present supporting documents that shows that this mother has a criminal past that she filed a false report and was convicted of. Whereas I have no criminal domestic violence or anything on my records, and it's just the exploitation of, like I say, the feminist movement in a sense, in an effort to divide families. Here, I've 18 months was taken out of, away from my kids, and now another 18 months. And all it is because I'm telling the judge that I'm not a pushover and I want you to do your job and, be a professional. That's just crazy. I don't understand how y'all are getting away with this. And I'm, being a veteran, I fought for those who couldn't fight for themselves. And definitely I'm going to fight for my kids, man. If you can't understand that, there's something wrong with you. Seriously, you need to go get mental help. A lot of these citizens in New Orleans, because it's an issue, having character defects and immoral dignity, immoral mindsets that far less than honorable. Y'all don't understand honor. Y'all don't understand loyalty. Everybody's in a rush, rush, rush to hurry around in a circle, and they're not doing everything fast enough. Everybody I see is sleep deprived because they lack self discipline. They're too focused on things that are insignificant. They're like my ex. She's trying to look good in front of other people rather than being true to herself. And I don't want my daughter to grow up in that society where there's a lot of daddy issues. There's a lot of low self-esteem. There's a huge amount of uh, lacking self confidence. And Sigmund Freud, we all took psychology, should understand that a father is the daughter's first love. The father is what gives the daughter self-esteem and self-confidence and builds up the characters to be accountable adults, because there's a lot of grown-ass children in New Orleans, people who are just immature adults, 50, 60, 70 years old, and the rudeness factor is just, like I say, it's just horrible. It's horrible. People don't have manners. And the reason that I see that it's because of divided families. You know, out there's with having single parent household, there's a lack of proper supervision. There's a lack of home training, because these people are not tended to properly, especially with their own parents who better understands why they're such and such, and it, this thing just got to do better, man. We got Trump now, the president. He's dividing us with racism and so forth, and it's just not going to be good in the future. And we got to start now. The civil rights movement. And reading a book that I realized it was only a small portion of people who changed the nation, who contributed to gaining voters' rights and civil rights for blacks. It wasn't everybody. And I remember Harriet Tubman. She said, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves." And that's the situation down in New Orleans. They don't realize that they are slaves. They're just dumb. Sad to say, that's the issue. That's the prevailing problem in New Orleans. And it needs to be addressed and changed.